Hi there, this is Rivera, the Itinerant Librarian, and I'm coming up with another video with another book haul. I have 10 more books that we recently acquired here at the library that I think I would like to read at some point in time. So I'm just going to highlight the books. I got my notes, as you can see, so if you see me looking off camera, that's why I'm looking at my notes. A few of these, given the hard times we're living in, might be of timely interest for some folks out there. So let's go ahead and get going. The first one is, it's the Afterlife of Malcolm X, an outcast turned icon's enduring impact on America by Mark Whitaker. There's the cover page. Let me tell you a little bit about the book. This was published to coincide with the 100th anniversary of Malcolm X's birth. It is the first major study of Malcolm X's influence in the 60 years since he was assassinated. And it explores his impact on culture, politics, and civil rights. So basically, it's not so much a book about his life, although I'm sure it goes over that. It's more about the impact he has had culturally and politically and socially over time, all the way to this day. Let me see, what else can I tell you? It's got good research. The story in the book stretches from founders of the Black Power movement, such as Stokely Carmichael and Huey Newton, to the hip-hop pioneers, such as Public Enemy and Tupac Shakur. And also even athletes, such as Muhammad Ali to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, all cite Malcolm X as an influence. So that's the book, The Afterlife of Malcolm X. It is published by Simon & Schuster. Next, a little something dealing with AI and surveillance and those kind of topics. I'll admit, this one may take me a little while to read because I just finished reading Cory Doctorow's The Internet Con, which I'll be reviewing on the blog soon, and you might see a short video on it here. So I may not read this one right away, but I'm still adding it to the list. The book is The Eye of the Master, A Social History of Artificial Intelligence by Matteo Pasquinelli. And this one actually does have the cover. And let me tell you a little bit about this one. This is a social history of artificial intelligence, AI, that reveals its roots in spatial computation of industrial factories and surveillance of collective behavior. Let me see what else. Basically, this book urges a new literacy on AI for scientists, journalists, and new generations of activists who should recognize that the mystery of AI is just automation of labor at the highest degree, not really intelligence. So there you go. It's more about labor and so on than, and the surveillance, of course. I think this book might also be timely, given that I'm currently reading Fulfillment, which is about Amazon, specifically the impact it has on people. So this might go well with that also. I'll let you know. In the meantime, the book is The Eye of the Master, A Social History of Artificial Intelligence. This is published by Verso Books. Third book on my list for this week is Backroom Deals in Our Backyards, How Government Secrecy Harms Our Communities and the Local Heroes Fighting Back by Miranda S. Spivak. Here's the cover page of that. This is, by the way, it's an award winner. It won the Stutz and Ida Turkel Prize. It's a look at how ordinary people are fighting back against their local and state governments to keep their communities safe. Most Americans are likely to encounter the effects of government malfeasance or neglect close to home. Yes, a lot of the damage is not going to be from the national level. It's going to be from your governor, it's going to be from your mayor, your town council, your school boards. Very often, deals shrouded in darkness are regularly made at the state and local levels, often the result of closed-door discussions. That's a reason we have things like the Freedom of Information Act. But certain things still stay in the dark, and this book is here to tell you about that. This new work of investigative reporting reveals that residents are intentionally kept on the outside struggling to get information about significant issues affecting their communities, from car crashes and dirty drinking water to safety gear that fails. The book is based on years of original reporting, and it tells the story of 5 accidental activists from across the U.S. who started asking why their local and state governments didn't protect them from issues facing their communities. Again, the book is Backroom Deals. This is one that I'm fairly interested in, how government secrecy harms our communities and the local heroes fighting back. Again, there's the cover. The book is published by the New Press. Next, I'm a librarian, so you know the odds are good. I'm going to have a book about libraries at some point in the list, and sure enough, here's the one for this week. The book is Meet Me at the Library, a place to foster social connection and promote democracy. It actually has the cover, and that's what it looks like. And this addresses a bit one of the key topics you often hear about, that America is facing an epidemic of loneliness and isolation, with troubling effects on our mental and physical health. These are divisive times, the hard times, but you don't need me to tell you that. And this is a time in which people tend to work, play, and associate only with people who think as we do, the so-called bubble. But then again, you do want to keep your sanity, so just saying. How do we create spaces for people to come together, to open our minds, understand our differences, and exchange ideas? Well, that's what the library is for. There you go. The author argues that the public library may be our best hope for bridging the divides and creating strong, inclusive communities. Let's see. Many libraries now are reimagining themselves in new and innovative ways, actively reaching out to the communities they serve. And today's libraries are becoming essential institutions for repairing society. I will say my professional brethren at public libraries don't have it easy. I'm an academic librarian, and we have some issues, but not to the scale my public library friends do. But despite that, we persevere and try to do our best to be inclusive and welcome everybody. The book again is Meet Me at the Library, a place to foster social connection and promote democracy, by Shamichael Hallman. That's the cover again. This is published by Island Press. Next, this may seem kind of timely. As I'm recording this, the news just came out that the so-called Big Beautiful Bill just passed Congress, which means it's headed for the president's desk for him to sign. And they're taking it there as soon as they can. So this book might be timely, or it might be too late. I don't know. But I intend to read it at some point. The book is Demolition Agenda, the Dismantling of American Government and How We Can Stop It. I'm a little skeptical, but okay. Here's the cover of the book. Let me tell you a little bit. The book now has been revised and has a final chapter on the current administration. A lot of the book covers the first Trump administration. This is, as I understand it, a revised edition. So it has a little extra in it. Demolition Agenda, according to the publisher, is more urgent than ever, revealing the administration's destruction of our government institutions, exposing Americans to greater risk while empowering corporate interests. Okay, you've kind of known that already, but okay. The author profiles the toxic leaders and intricate strategies that the Trump administration employed to rid the government of protective policies and institutions, harming the health of the nation and accelerating climate change and economic turmoil. Some of the things that it goes over: corruption scandal at the EPA, the weakening of transportation safety measures, etc. But the author also provides clarity on what we can continue to expect and what might be done. The book does end, hopefully, with a new chapter that provides a roadmap for future politicians to reinstate a safe, healthy, equitable society. We'll just have to see. But in the meantime, I'll be reading it at some point. The book is Demolition Agenda. by Thomas O. McGarity. The book is also published by the New Press. Let's see, okay. I think I got, okay, one more book on American politics, and then we can move to some other interesting things. This might be also timely and interesting for some. The book is The Great White Hoax, 2 Centuries of Selling Racism in America by Philip Kadish. There's the cover page. This is a history of the forgeries, bogus science, rigged data, and fake news that keep American racism alive. If you're interested in the intersection of race, politics, and the public, you'll want to read this book. Let me see. The Great White Hoax reveals the era of Fox News and Donald Trump is simply a return to form. We have been here this before, and I often say that in my blogging and in my social media when I'm microblogging that yes, the signs have always been there, but whether people want to see them or not, that's a separate question. But if you need a little help seeing them, well, do some reading. The Great White Hoax uncovers a century-long tradition of white supremacist hoaxes perpetrated on the American public by a succession of political hucksters and opportunists. It reveals the white supremacy as today's real fake news and exposes the cast of villains, past and present, who have kept American racism alive. This may be timely for some folks. Again, the book is Great White Hoax, 2 Centuries of Selling Racism in America by Philip Kadish. It is also published by the New Press. I've got a couple of books from the New Press lately that look pretty good. Okay, so I promised you we'd do something other than politics, and here we go. Our next book is a little bit of esoterica, because you know me, I gotta read some esoterica sooner or later. It's part of my practice and my devotion to the Cosmic Joker. So this one is called Cryptic from, I'm gonna butcher this, Cryptic, from Voynich to the Angel Diaries, the story of the world's mysterious manuscripts, by Gary J. Shaw. There's the cover page. This is an absorbing history, according to the publisher, of Europe's 9 most puzzling texts, including the biggest mystery of all, the Voynich manuscript, which I admit at this point I don't know what it is, but I'll find out. Books can change the world. They can influence, entertain, transport, and enlighten. But across the centuries, authors have disguised their work often with codes and ciphers, secret scripts, and magical signs. What made these authors decide to keep their writing secret? What were they trying to hide? The author tells the story of 9 puzzling European texts. She explores the unknown alphabet of the nun Hildegard of Bingen, the enciphered manuscripts of the prank-loving physician Giovanni Fontana, and the ancient communications of the polymath John Dee. Along the way, we discovered how the pioneers of science and medicine concealed their work, encountered demon magic and secret societies, and delved into the intricate symbolism of alchemists searching for the philosopher's stone. That really does sound interesting, don't it? The publisher claims it's a highly enjoyable account. I'll be the judge of that. It takes readers on a fascinating journey through Europe's most cryptic writings and attempts to shed new light on the biggest mystery of all, the Voynich manuscript. Again, the book is called Cryptic, from Voynich to the Angel Diaries to the story of those mysterious manuscripts. There you go. By Gary J. Shaw. This is published by Yale University Press. There you go. Let's do a little more magic, shall we? This is called The Magic Books, A History of Enchantment in 20 Medieval Manuscripts. I guess I'm going to be reading about manuscripts for a while. This is the cover of The Magic Books. The book is written by Anne Lawrence Mathers. This is, again, according to the author, a fascinating and highly original history of medieval magic told through 20 key illuminated manuscripts. Medieval Europe was preoccupied with magic, from the Carolingian Empire to Renaissance Italy and Tudor England. Rulers, religious figures, and scholars wanted to harness supernatural power. They wanted to do things like summon spirits, predict the future, and prolong life. It's a beautifully illustrated account. Really? Well, it does have some illustrations, and they look nice, but that's about it. I'll let you know when I read it for sure. Some of the books it looks at, and it includes an astronomical compendium made for Charlemagne's son. Also a book called The Sworn Book of Honorius, used by a secret society of magicians. And overall, this new history shows how attitudes to magic and science change over the medieval period and produce great works of art. There you go. So, the name of the book again is The Magic Books by Anne Lawrence Mathers. It is published by, who the heck publishes this? Oh, it's also Yale University Press. So apparently Yale has been on a roll with esoteric stuff. Here's the cover again. Next, let's do a little bit of an environment. This one we're going to Puerto Rico. The book is Making Livable Worlds, Afro-Puerto Rican Women Building Environmental Justice. There it is. I admit I did not know a whole lot about this book until I got a notification from the publisher about it. But it is recent work on Puerto Rico, my lovely island, so I figured we should probably get it and take a look. The book won a local award, the 2022 Frank Bonilla Book Award, sponsored by the Puerto Rican Studies Association, and also won the 22 Gregory Bateson Book Prize, which is sponsored by the Society for Cultural Anthropology. It brings to life Afro-Puerto Rican women's creative struggles for environmental justice. When Hurricanes Irma and Maria made landfall in Puerto Rico in September of 2017, their destructive force further devastated an archipelago already pummeled by economic austerity, political upheaval, and environmental calamities. And for the record, I don't think the island has recovered since then. That was in 2017. We're in 2025, and things are not really that much better. To navigate these multiple ongoing crises, Afro-Puerto Rican women have drawn from their cultural knowledge to engage in daily improvisations that enable their communities to survive and thrive. Their life-affirming practices, developed and passed down through generations, offer powerful modes of resistance to gendered and racialized exploitation, ecological ruination, and deepening capitalist extraction. This book weaves together autobiography, ethnography, interviews, memories, and fieldwork to recast narratives that continuously rape Black Puerto Rican women as agents of social change. This is the kind of book I think that a couple of classes in women and gender studies here on campus might be interested in, or may want to at least look at. And the book is Making Livable Worlds, Afro-Puerto Rican Women Building Environmental Justice by Hilda Llorens. Here's the cover. Here's the cover. This one is published by the University of Washington Press. So those are the new books. I have one more book on this list. It's not new, but I don't remember right now how I heard of it, pick it up now, but it's a bit of history. And the book is Free to All, Carnegie Libraries and American Culture, 1890 to 1920. There's the cover page there. This is an older book, so it's not that I'm picking it up because it's brand new, but I think it was in one of my TBR blog posts, and I finally decided to pick it up anyhow. It's a history of the Carnegie Libraries. In a nutshell, Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate and robber baron, at the late part of his life decided that I guess he needed to cleanse his conscience a little bit, so he gave a whole bunch of money to build libraries around the U.S. A great thing to many. In fact, we do have a building on campus that used to be a Carnegie Library, not anymore. It's a common academic building now. But naturally, it was Carnegie, so that means things were not without controversy, and this book addresses some of that history, which I'm interested in learning a little bit more about. So the book is Free to All. The author is Abigail A. Van Slyck, and this is published by the University of Chicago Press. There you go. So there we have it. 10 books from our library collection. 9 of them brand new and 1 of them from the stacks, from the shelves, that I would like to read at some point in the near future. How about you? Do you have any books that you would like to read? Have you visited your library recently? Checked anything out good? Or, okay, if you bought it, that's okay too. Just let me know. Feel free to comment down below and let me know what you're reading or what you might want to read. That's okay, or if any of these interest you or not. And in the words of Walter Mercado, once more, mucha paz, mucho amor. Thank you for watching. You know the drill. If you like this stuff, give it a thumbs up. You know, a little help would be nice. If you want to keep seeing some of this, feel free to subscribe. And have a great day. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.